Exhaust fan fix for the Samsung DMT 400 series dishwasher. Attention! I take no responsibility for damage or harm to you or your dishwasher should you choose to work on your own dishwasher. And if you do choose to perform this fix, make sure you unplug and disconnect the water supply before you start.
Hello YouTubers, my name's Bill. I got one of them Samsung dishwashers, the DMT 400 series dishwashers. You see them online, everybody complaining about the screaming loud noise it makes during the drying cycle. I looked into it myself online. I've seen a few, well actually a lot of videos of people complaining about the noise, and there was one video from a guy with the username of a total moron. And I'm not calling him a total moron. I think he's pretty darn smart. But he was showing how it made a noise, and every time he presses on the front of it, it was making a louder scream. And well, the video was great showing the problem, but then I read on down, and there was a comment from a guy named Prestone. And this is a shout out, well, really to both of these guys. Prestone had a great tutorial in there on the comment about what exactly the problem was, and it's in the fan, the basket fan that actually ejects all the hot air out of the dishwasher. But and he had a great cheap fix. He says it works great, so we're going to find that out. I'm going to perform that fix. I apologize, I've already got the dishwasher apart. This is the front panel. This is what the dishwasher looks like. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to follow his instructions and show you how to fix that fan. And then I'll put it all back together again in fast motion, and hopefully you'll kind of get an idea how it came apart, you know, from that. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. I hope it helps you, and I'm hoping it works when I'm all done, so we'll see what happens. Alright, let's get started.
Open the dishwasher door and locate the round stainless steel vent cover on the inside of the door. It's held on by one screw. Remove the cover. Then you will see a white plastic vent held on by two screws. Remove the screws and twist the vent 1/4 turn, I believe counterclockwise, to remove it. Next, remove all the torque screws on the inside outer edge of the door. Leave the two screws by the latch in, but loose. Be sure to support the door cover so it don't get any scratches or dents. Once the door panel is removed, set it aside. Finish removing the two latch screws to remove the electrical panel. There will be two wires to disconnect. Remember, it's always a good idea to take a picture of the wires and parts before you start to disconnect anything. This makes it much easier to get them in the right spot when you put it back together. Both the light blue and the dark blue wires here go to the control panel, which I've already disconnected and set aside. The terminals are different sizes, so they're easy to return to the correct spot. Notice in the far left corner, down at the bottom on that bracket, you see that green wire that goes to the ground screw there. That's the wire I talk about later in this video. I apologize for the next video. For some reason it shot sideways, so I had to rotate it.
Well, this is the vent system, and it was like up mounted on the door. First you got to take the panel off. That's pretty self-explanatory. Just go around and take these screws from the other side. You take all the screws out, and the front panel comes off, and then you could take the control panel off that sits up there. That's this part here. This was up in here, and you know, just make sure you know, video where your wires go. It's pretty self-explanatory. They only fit one socket, but anyway, the major problem here is, of course, this was this sits over that. I'm just going to set it like that for now, but you can see how it fits over there. And then on the other side of that was the rest of the assembly that goes up to the vent from the dishwasher. Anyway, once you get that all apart, The hardest part was to figure out how to getting this thing off was hard because it's siliconed on. It was a pain. But anyway, once you get that off, you can see all that wear there, the dust from the plastic. Okay, that is, let's see if we can get close enough here to see that. You see the edge of this blade. See how it's worn out? They're all worn out there. Okay, it's what happened. This is the hot air side. It comes out of the dishwasher. It's really hot. The cool air side blows back in. That one's not the problem. It's right here because this gets so hot. And these cheap plastic, you can see how this vent is made. It's kind of, you know, they're kind of freestanding blades. So they actually, when it gets hot and they're spinning, they spread out this way. Okay, when they spread out, it hits the casing, inside of that casing, and it's causing a screaming sound in the dry mode. I mean, it's just really loud. Hear it from all the way across the house. So another guy that I looked at his video, he was saying how he got his soldering iron and put a little dimple on all these fins all the way around. Then he took a wire, copper wire, and pulled it all together so it would stay together, not spread out when it gets hot. He said that fix was worth it. It worked perfect. So that's what I'm going to try doing here. But you know, just so you know, this is what it looks like on the inside. This is what the deal is on that. I guess I should have took a video of each step of what to do, but getting it apart. But it's self-explanatory until you get to this part when you're taking this off. Oh yeah, this is something you really want to know. Like I said, this thing is connected to that vent, but it connects here. Well, on the other side of the inside of this door here, after you take the screw out and get the metal plate off, underneath that you have this, you see this vent, okay? Well, this vent, let's see if I could do this with one hand. I'm just gonna, okay, like I said, this is on the inside the door area, on the inside door, and this is on the inside. And this is actually like a 3/4 turn, okay? 3/4 turn and it pulls off, and then that releases this away from there. Because when this was connected to the rest of the vent, I was having a hard time getting that off. So that's what the deal is. It was because this is still connected on the other side, and it's a 3/4 turn. 3/4 turn, it pops off and it releases this from and let your whole vent come off. Okay, and sometimes mine was difficult to get off because the buildup of the soap and things, you know. So so it was a little difficult, but at 3/4 turn, bam, and it comes off. So anyway, I'll do what that guy did to his fan, and I'll show you what that looks like when that's done, and then maybe we'll get some videos of how to put it back together. This way you know how it comes apart. Alrighty. Okay, here we are on my workbench here. You can see I clamped this vent assembly to the bench so it's a little bit sturdy. So here's the wheel again. Like I said, when you heat up, when that hot air is coming through to vent out, these little stupid vents that aren't really designed right want to heat up and spread out. They spread out, and that's what rubs against the case. So here we're going to use a soldering iron, and let me zoom in, and I'm going to show you what we're doing here. We're burning. We're burning. You can see one burn I got in there already. Okay, we're burning. I'll try to keep my hand out of the way here without burning myself. See, right there we burnt a little edge. We're going to burn a little edge around all these vents. Okay. Once we burn an edge around all those vents, I got some picture frame wire. I think that's what it is. I cut a piece off, And basically this wire should fit in all those grooves, okay? And then basically the theory is the wire is going to pull these vents together and hold them together so they don't spread out when they're from centrifugal force when they're heated up. And hopefully that'll keep it from rubbing against the outside housing and prevent that buzz sound. So, all right, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, I am recording. All right, I found it pretty easy just to kind of hold my iron in one spot and kind of spin this wheel around like that to melt all those grooves. It kind of kept them a little more even. So however it works for you is fine, as long as you get a little groove burnt in all of them. I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to bring it around. I'm sorry about the camera angle, my hand's probably in your way, but I'm just going to bring my hand around and make sure it's slid. And, you know, I'm kind of going like this to make sure that wire's set in those grooves. Okay, then I'm going to squeeze it together. And see here, I'm going to take my pliers here. If I could do it from this side. Well, you see what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab that and twist it. I'm going to come around here because I'm right-handed here. Okay. And I'm going to start twisting that. Try to get that to twist tight. Okay. That looks like it might work. I'm double checking to make sure these are in the groove. Okay, the wires are all in the groove. I hope I didn't over tighten it. It looks good though. I don't think it is over tightened. That ought to work. So that's what I'm going to do. You can see where I trimmed that. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to clip this off there and bend this toward the inside of the vent. So let's see. Kind of bend that in toward the inside of the vent so it won't. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Let me look at my camera angle here. You can see it there. I can zoom in closer for you. But I bent the twisted part to where it's inside the middle of these paddles so they won't interfere with any of the housing also. So there we go. So that's the fix for that. It seems to hold pretty well. Hopefully there won't be nothing out of balance. But God, anything's got to be better than that god-awful screaming it makes when it's hitting the housing. So, all right, well, I'll take a little bit of video putting it back together so you can kind of see how I got it apart. All right. I'll see you back upstairs. All right, our fan motor's all fixed, hopefully. We're going to put this here housing back on. I was noticing all the worn out plastic that it was like fine powder, but it was the worn out plastic because right here there's a spot where that fan, when it spread out, it was hitting. It kind of wore the plastic out a little bit there. Anyway, it shouldn't hurt anything. I'm going to take a little silicone. I don't know if it's good silicone or not. Yeah, this tube's all clogged up. No big deal. We'll do a quick fix. Here's the quick fix. There we go. All right, we'll take a little silicone. And we're going to go around the edging. They had a little bit of silicone right there. So I'm going to also go around that edge with some fresh silicone. Okay. Sorry, I'm clean my hands off. Alright, there's a little gasket there. We're going to make sure we don't get that out of place. It should fit right inside here. I'm going to put this on. And this wasn't easy to get off, so it's going to be hard to get back on. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do this. Alright, let me work on this. Okay, this is something I should have done when I actually took it apart. So I should have went ahead and took the whole thing, vent system off the motor system. There's this gasket that goes in here too. And that's why I had a hard time getting it off, because I tried to take the shortcut and get it off without taking the whole thing off. Well, to get it back on, you got to have the whole thing off. Anyway, so I got the silicone on there. I'll put this vent assembly back together. It's got some tabs that snap in. And then it's got 2 screws. And then you put the gasket back in. And then attach it back to the vent assembly. Okay. The rest will be in fast motion. See you at the end. You see me put an extra couple screws in. I thought I'd explain it. When I first took it apart, I thought the whole thing had to come apart, so I took the extra screws off the cool air side, which I didn't even need to touch that at all, so that's why I put 4 screws in instead of 2. And there is no gasket on the cool air side, just on the hot air side. Okay, so just thought I'd explain that.
The little red solenoid you see me putting on here didn't even need to be taken off, so don't take it off to begin with, and you won't have to put it back on.
Sorry about that. My camera died for a second. I had to move the camera angle to get a plug in there. And as you notice on that fast motion there, this red solenoid, it's never had to come off to begin with. And I had started putting the wrong screws back in, because the screws that go on the inside of the plate to hold this on are stainless, where these are not. So this does not need to come off. Just unplugged when you take it apart. You don't have to unscrew that solenoid. All right, back to the fast stuff.
This is that plastic vent I was telling you about, and then the metal cover that goes over it. The wiring, putting this panel back, was pretty simple. Plug back in the 2 that fit, and it works great. Now you'll see me make quite a few attempts getting this panel back on with failure. It is a pain in the butt to put on. But eventually I got it. Just keep good track of the screws and the size of the screws along that top edge of the control panel, because those are you got to get those correct to get the panel on correct. There we go. I finally got it together.
There we go. All finished. Now, for the ultimate test, see if this baby is going to scream on me on the dry mode. Let's turn it on, and we'll come back and check it. All right, and I'm going to have some notes for you right here at the end of it. Okay, all finished up. I just want to leave you all with some notes. One, I apologize for the having to change the angle and all that. My camera died. I had to get closer to a plug. The panel, the stainless steel panel, getting it back on is way harder than trying to take it off. Okay. 2, when you do take it off, note exactly which size screw, because across the top that holds this black electrical panel on, and some of the screws hold the metal panel too. You got to know which screw goes where, because there's a small one on the end, I believe. There's a long one in the middle here, and there's two medium ones that actually go through the latch and hold the latch and the panel. Okay, and then the other long one here in the middle, and then another short one on the corner, and then there's short ones all the way down. It is a pain to get that panel on, but just take good note while you take it off, and you shouldn't have a problem getting it back on like I did. So anyway, there was a spot in there where I was trying to show you there was a ground wire. When I put the wires back on the bottom bracket that holds the vent assembly, the big plastic vent thing in, the far left one is a ground bolt, and a ground wire goes through that and then through that bracket on the far left. Then there's 3 of the same size screw that go on the other 3 spots on that bracket to hold that assembly in. And then of course, I believe I said it in part of the other video, that solenoid on the actual dryer vent thing, the round part, there I put the wrong screws on the inside of the door. I put the stainless steel ones there, and they were the wrong ones. The stainless steel ones go on the inside of the dishwasher. And then the regular screws on the outside. So just keep all your screws straight. Then you won't screw up like me. Alright, I hope this video helped. I'm going to take one more shot for you guys. When it gets to the dry mode, that's when that impeller, that fan that's in question, starts kicking in. So once it gets to that dry mode, I'll show you what it sounds like. I've got my fingers crossed. I hope it works. So anyway, see you in a little bit. All right, the fix is complete. It's on the dry cycle. The fan's running. No more squealing. That was a perfect fix. I want to give kudos to the Prestone, whoever you are out there. That was an excellent tutorial on how to fix it. Now we got a video. So there you go. I hope this video has helped, and if yours is doing it, please comment and let me know if it worked for you too. Thanks. Bye.